Hey folks, Lester here, and I would like to play for you a little video that I just uploaded. Enjoy. Oh, goodness gracious. I loved her. I loved her so much. And I'm coming to you from from Longhorn Lectures, from I'm a Survivor. And unfortunately, all I have is my laptop, and I don't have the cool little fancy camera. I left it at Longhorn Lester's yesterday. And so if you're seeing me kind of blurry, it's not your internet. I promise you, it's my laptop. The cameras that come with a laptop by default are not the best of cameras. And I don't know why they never work as good as the ones you buy, the accessories that you can buy. Um, anyway, hey, welcome. Facebook has finally joined in. I'll play that video again because it's beautiful. I put some music to it, and I'll play it for you one more time. Let me do that now before we move on. Y'all ready? This is just enjoy. And yeah, we lost Maggie. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's been so kind with your comments. And when I walk along out in the memorial garden, there are, and you sit there and you look at all of the little stones of the babies that we've lost over the years that we've been a sanctuary. Some of those babies, you knew that they were sick, and so it wasn't really a shocker, not as much of a shock when they were gone, because I think that what you do as a human, I think that naturally we begin to kind of, when we feel like someone is at the end of their days, we begin to internalize that. And where I think it makes it easier on us to deal with the loss if we've in fact already begin to internalize losing that person. And you guys would probably know this better than me. I tell you all the time how blessed I am I have both of my parents, and I have both of my children. I've never lost anyone who I was really close to. But I have lost animals who I've been close to, and I know, I'm not trying to say it's the same, but in a way, when you have a special animal who you're super close to, and they in fact become a part of your family because they're a part of your daily routine. Every one of your thought processes, everything that you do always evolves around, you know, that particular baby, animal, dog, cat, whatever. And so when you lose them suddenly and you haven't really ever taken the time to think about life without that particular baby, it really can throw you off. And I just don't know. I don't know what to say. I feel like I want to talk and I want to, but I just don't know what to say. I will say that we buried Maggie, and I told you this yesterday. We buried Maggie in our real cemetery, their human cemetery. And I just felt like Maggie was too big. Even though we've had some great personalities around here over the years, Maggie was just too big of a I didn't want to dig a hole and put her in the woods. And we've buried all of our animals in the back. We take the tractor down, we dig us a hole, and so all of our animals that have passed are laid to rest in the back. But we memorialize them in the front over here in our little garden area by putting a stone. But not to take anything away from all of the other babies, because we've lost some really neat babies, some really amazing, animals. But I don't know why. There was just something about me that just did not want to put Maggie in the back. I wanted her to be close. And so Ellie and I did that. And we will get some kind of a stone for the memorial garden. I told you all that part of my long term plans, once the weather cools off, is to do a remodeling of the memorial garden. And I'm going to say this, and it sounds horrible, but we've outgrown our garden, meaning that we've lost, quite a few babies over the years, and we need a larger garden. So my plan is to take down that fence, do a little reshaping, and maybe make it a little bit larger, maybe plant something a little bit different than what we have now. And we'll get a really pretty stone for Maggie to go there as well. But I also want to, so I'm going to go ahead and get off that subject. I'm not reading the comments today, guys. I can't. I hope you understand. I just don't can't. I just can't right now. But I also want to talk about the teams, because that's something that's pretty big. Everyone knows that I had this vision a couple of months ago about possibly starting some kind of a challenge or some kind of a something to do with I'm a Survivor. I thought it would be like our own little fun version of a reality TV show, something that I would enjoy producing. And it didn't go over real well with many of you, but it wasn't until Jamie and I went to Oklahoma and we attended the creator conference, and we saw how many up and coming creators who have amazing gifts at video creating, and they wanted an opportunity to they just were trying to find a way to get their name out there. So I began to talk to Jamie about that idea that I had, that you all had remember you all know the idea y'all shot down. And I finally convinced Jamie to at least go along with some ideas. We presented to the board. And so we did approve of some teams to come out and do some competition type things, trying to earn themselves the title of surviving I'm a Survivor. Not for any kind of a full-time gig or anything like that, nothing long term, just to bring a little bit of their expertise, a little bit of their skill, a little bit of their video creations, and spend some time here. And so far we have already had 2 teams. Now listen, this is confusing to people. You all seen episode 1. That's where we had Crandall and Marcy, and they come out and they created for us a chicken coop complete with nesting boxes. And it was a really neat episode that we played our part of that. And then we linked you all to Crandall and Marcy's page, the Eldridge fam. And for those of you that wanted to learn more about their family and follow them, and we were very blessed that they were able to introduce themselves to you all. And many of you guys have chosen to go and stick around and see more of that family. And we appreciate you guys doing that. So this past weekend, we had Team 2 here at the sanctuary. Now, I can't talk about Team 2 yet because we haven't played their episode. We have it all recorded. They have come and they have done a really neat thing for us here. And that will all be revealed to you guys on Sunday. So today's Monday. It will all be revealed to you on Sunday. And so now what I'm doing is I spent most of my morning prepping for team number 3. So when I posted a reel, which is a short video on Facebook about an hour ago, talking about team 3 and us getting ready for team 3. And I swear about half the comments were people confused because they never saw team 2. Wait, what happened to team 2? And so what happens is after the team leaves, that's when you go into the production part, the editing and all of that. And so I have to go through lots of video editing, lots of files, and cut it all down to the right size. And we always would like to play that the Sunday following their departure. So they left yesterday, which means that I'll play their video next Sunday. And then I'll introduce you to their page, and I would ask you to go at least take a peek at their page, watch their portion of the video. And if you would like to, stick around, then I will say they're also going to be on Facebook. They do YouTube, but they're trying to get a name on Facebook. So that'll be easier for a lot of the Facebook folks who don't like to do the YouTube. And I understand that. But so that's what's going on. We've already had team 1 and their episode has already played. We spent a couple of weeks regathering supplies. Of course, my shoulder didn't help any by going out on me, all of that. And then, but we did survive. We survived team 2. We survived team 2. Lester's shoulder survived team 2, and it's moving around just fine. I can't make it stop now. I'm kidding. But we have not played that episode yet. That will play on Sunday. And then we have team 3. And so once they come and do their episode and they do something really neat for us, then we will play their video the week following. So that's just kind of the rundown on what's going on with all the teams and all that kind of stuff. I've composed myself now. I've composed myself again, and so I can go ahead and talk to you. I want to talk to you about what happened with Maggie and how shocking that was and how fast it all happened. Of course, in true video creator sense, we have lots of video of lots going on. In fact, team 2 was here during all of that. So they're also, from their vantage point, like wondering what's going on. It was a crazy, crazy afternoon. And it was hard for me to show the emotions that were welling inside of me while there were people here. And I really did try to hold it together, and I held it together, and I held it together. And Jamie and I had our live yesterday at 3 when we sort of talked about it. And even then, I semi doped myself up to kind of hold it together. I didn't want to be a complete, just make a fool of myself in front of you all. But I'll tell you what, was out at the barn, and man, I don't know what it is, but have you ever just been somewhere and all of a sudden you just find yourself just breaking down? Like, I was surrounded by all the animals. Cornholio was going crazy, and Nate was going crazy, and Bookie and Voodoo were just staring at me. And I just dropped down to my knees and I just unloaded just this cleansing, deep, deep, just release of emotions that I had tried to hold together for, for those couple of days, until I don't know why. It's just, maybe it's just the foolish man in me just trying to keep my composure. And, but I had that moment, and I'll tell you what, I needed that moment, because I don't know what it is about just letting it out and letting it go. But when you opened up and I just let it go, I don't think Pig Trudy really knew what was going on. Her hair on her back was standing up and she's staring at me. Cornholio is just gobbling away like crazy. I start crying out to where I begin to look up and I saw all the animals staring at me. And then I begin to laugh. And I think that I begin to laugh until I cried again. And then I cried louder until I made myself laugh. And I'll tell you what, when I stood up and I walked back towards the house, I felt so much better. I felt so much better. And in all of that emotion, I think it was just like, this is going to sound dumb, but I think that I had to let go of Maggie. I think I had to just let go of Maggie, because even though she'd passed, 2 days earlier, I just could not really believe that Maggie was gone. And then I was starting to try to read through the emails last night in the tub, and here they come again, and here they come again, and the things that y'all say, and the way that you say things, and then the comments. That's why I'm not even going to read those. They can just fly right on by. I'm not even going to read any of them, because I'm having a hard enough time as it is. But I will forever miss Maggie. And I think I said this yesterday. I don't remember much of anything about yesterday. It was all just a blur. Yesterday was a total blur. I can't remember anything about yesterday, but I think that I said in my life, I hope that if you've never had a chance to experience a pet like a Maggie, they don't come around very often, my friends. I'm 50 years old, and we've had animals my entire life. I've had a lot of really good animals, dogs that I really have loved, cats that I really have loved. Of course, all kinds of animals around here that we love. But there was just something just so darn special about Maggie. And I was blessed to be able to have spent those 6 years with her. And I will. I know for a fact that I told you that I will make a tribute to her, but I have to bring myself to do it. I look through old pictures and all my old videos, and it's hard. It's so hard. So I really do have to make peace with myself before I can devote this to Maggie. But Maggie was able to have children. I think most of you all who've been around for a while, you remember the couple of litters that we got from Maggie. The sweet, sweet Mama Maggie is what I called her. And she was a great mother. And she was just the best friend to me. She was just the most loyal of all dogs. And I tell you, y'all, here in the country, we've had a lot of dogs. We had a lot of dogs. And I've loved them all, but I've never loved one as much as I loved Maggie. And I know for a fact, the one thing that I do not regret is the fact that I never told her how much I loved her, because I did. I told her how much I loved her. I held her. You know who was jealous is Jamie, because I held Maggie more than I held Jamie. I did. I held Maggie more than I held my own kids. And that makes me feel like kind of a horrible person. But I held Maggie all the time. We would have coffee every morning. Jamie and I would have coffee every morning, and Maggie would walk up and she would put her head on me. And so I would not touch her head. You touch her head and you let her know that you acknowledge her. But that wasn't enough for Maggie. Maggie she would put her body up on you. She'd put her front legs. And so all of a sudden now I'm trying to hold my hot coffee and Maggie's halfway in my lap. And I'm like, I'm not going to hold you right now, Maggie. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not. And if lo and behold, 9 times out of 10, Jamie can vouch for this, if Maggie did not continue to climb up on me, and at some point I am sitting there on that couch or on that rocking chair or wherever I was at, and that big baby Maggie is all the way up on me, and I'm holding her and trying to hold her and drink my coffee, and she was just so happy. She just so darn happy. And I will miss that more than anything else. It was it was it was kind of annoying at the time. It was so annoying. I'm like, Maggie, I'm spilling my coffee. Come, Maggie, not now. And sometimes I'd get so annoyed, and I know Jamie was annoyed, but once she started climbing up, she just climbed all the way up, and there now you have this big old 100-pound dog in your lap. And I would love to do that again. But well, I didn't really plan on making a live about me just being a crybaby, but I already had my moment, and I don't know where this is coming from. But anyway, things are going well with Jolene and Santoro. I made a little video clip yesterday that most of you all saw, where the calves are all hanging out together, and so Jolene, Santoro, and Annabelle have become really good friends. Moo has finally made he's finally introduced himself, and now they're all kind of a little group out there doing some really cute stuff. I videoed that this morning that I'll bring to you very soon in an actual video. And besides that, the mamas back over at Longhorn Lester's they're starting to quiet down a little bit. They the way the body works is all of that nutrition that they were consuming that was going right to their bags, to produce the milk for their babies, is now being able to be used for them. And we'll get them back into shape really fast, and that will be good for them for the winter. I also mentioned to you that Santoro, the little bull, we're going to keep him here. I was surprised to see all of the mixed reactions with that. I was surprised to see the mixed reactions with us keeping Santoro here, because many of y'all were concerned that we're going to end up giving Santoro the same miserable life that we know Tex had, being contained to that one small pasture. But you have to remember that before we sent Tex to the Longhorn Lesters, Jake and I had gone back and did a whole lot more fencing, where we built that double fence between my dad's property and ours, and we left that buffer zone in between there. So Santoro will stay here, and his partner will be Annabelle as far as his companion. Uncle Moo will stay Uncle Moo, and I would hope to at some point take Jolene and move her back to Longhorn Lesters. And the last thing I'll say about the whole Longhorn Lesters is that, um, yes, it was my dream to have all of the Longhorns at Longhorn Lesters, obviously. But guys, I never predicted, I could have never seen this drought and the effects it was going to have on the grass and everything, the nutritional, the lack of nutrition that field at Longhorn Lester provides. It's 10 acres, but right now it doesn't matter how many acres you have. If there's no rain and if your grass is dry, then there's no nutrition. There's no nutritional value whatsoever. And so we're doing all we can to just hold on to the cows that we have. We're not going to invest in any more at the time. We're not going to bring any more heifers in for Tex at the time. But we're going to go ahead and take care of the 4 that are over there. That would be Tex, Santana, Pearl, and Gracie. We have brought Santoro and Jolene back to I'm a Survivor. And that will make it a little bit easier on the moms. We'll be able to continue to feed the grains that we're feeding, the hay that we're feeding, and we're going to be fine. We'll make it. The animals here at I'm a Survivor have a whole lot more grass than they do at Longhorn Lesters. It's also a different kind of grass. And so the Bahia grass, which grows here at I'm a Survivor, is a lot more hardy, and it's a whole lot more, it can handle the drought conditions, whereas the grass that we have at Longhorn Lesters is it's a prettier grass. If you like pretty, it's nice and wavy and green. It all grows the same height. I don't know, I'm going to say the name wrong. I'm going to say the name wrong if I try to tell you what the name of the grass is. But it's a nutritional grass, but it's not hardy. And so when you have, dry conditions, then you're going to lose your grass. And unfortunately, we may have to deal with that for years to come. Not real sure. But that's all I think I have for you. I wanted to clarify those few things. Team 2 has come and gone. And yes, they have completed the project. They survived I'm a Survivor, but you have to wait until Sunday morning to be able to see that. And then Team 3 will be starting their project, but that will be in a couple of weeks. So all I'm doing now is gathering supplies for the Team 3. Okay? All right. Thank you all again for your condolences and for loving Maggie as much as I did, and for being patient with us as we work our way through dealing with a loss. And I know that there were so many questions of why and how and why didn't you get an autopsy? Why did you, guys? I'm not one to cut my babies open. You know what? She passed, and I'm not going to have her cut open, and it's just my preference. All right. Anyway, thank you all for coming and saying hi today, and I will talk to you all very soon. And thank you all for loving us, and thank you for putting up with us. And have a wonderful work